Greetings everyone, this is the Hipster Snek. In honor of it being February and yesterday being Valentine's Day, thanks a bunch calendar for making that fall on a Sunday, let's wear our nerdy hearts on our nerdy sleeves. It's gonna need to be a figurative set of sleeves in my case, but let's talk about our top 10 video game best girls. Now, what do I mean by that, you ask? The female characters that stand out the most, contribute the most, the ones who we buy questionable anime merchandise of when we think no one else is looking at us. And as always, this top 10 has a few rules. One lady per franchise, otherwise there'd probably be a couple of repeats on this list. Second, it has to be a game that I've actually played. I won't include characters with good designs from franchises that I simply don't indulge in. And third, this is all in the name of good fun. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes or build anyone up at the cost of tearing anyone else down. And lastly, I'm not reviewing the games these characters come from, just talking about the characters themselves. Alright? We're all here to have fun and laugh at the weird Snek and his eclectic tastes. Good? Good. Let's begin. Number 10. Helena Douglas, Dead or Alive series. She's powerful, cunning, beautiful, a skilled fighter, intelligent. She's looking to reshape Doatech into something far better than her father could have dreamed, and she has a French accent. That's what we call the complete package. Debuting in Doa 2, Helena's fighting style is Piga Quan, a Chinese style of martial art that not only did I probably mispronounce, it specializes in sweeping motions with quick flurries of movements, making her able to hold her own even against fighters who are physically more powerful than she is. She works with Kasumi and the other ninjas, trying to bring down the enigmatic Victor Donovan through the Dead or Alive tournaments, all the while trying to turn the reputation of Doatech around. Oh yeah, she's a CEO and full owner of her own corporation to top it all off. For all these reasons and more, Helena's my choice in Doa Best Girl. While she's not my best fighter in the franchise, that would be Honoka, she's a very fun character to play and her combos are very graceful and steadfast, much like Helena herself. Not only will the good guys of this world be largely unable to get the funds and information needed to save the world without her, Helena herself has proven time and time again she can throw down with the best of them.
Winner! Yes, this is the melody.
Number 9. Miss Adachi, Eater of Live Fish, Horai High. Horai High is an amazing game with an amazing cast, as I've said before in previous review. You really can't go wrong in assembling a party, unless you take Haru, so narrowing it down to just one is largely going to be a matter of your personal preference. And my personal preference is for the protagonist teacher, Miss Adachi. She uses bashing weapons up to and including the enigmatic God Hand, whatever that's supposed to be, and a solid stat gross all around. However, that's true of most of the cast, so what makes her distinct? Well, how about in Chapter 5, when you recruit her, you're marooned on a deserted island, whereupon you catch her munching on a live fish in the name of her own crazed survival. Not just that, but she'll then give you bonus credits on your final grade, just to remind you how that totally didn't happen. She then throws in with the party through all the craziness the rest of the game's story throws at you, and she unflinchingly breaks the fourth wall, sneakily picks up some bonus items for the party, and stands side by side with the students, robots, cats, and ghosts that make up this crazed cast. For her bravado and unwavering devotion, Miss Adachi is a top-tier best girl for sure. Number 8. Rize, Trials of Mana. Hailing from the windy mountain kingdom of Laurent, Rize, as I am wont to call her, is the Amazon princess and eventually heir to the throne of her homeland. Difficulties immediately rear their ugly head for her, however, as ninja assassins from the desert nation Navarre attack, killing the king and kidnapping her little brother Elliot. Like the other 5 heroes of the game, she'll travel to the Priest of Light in Wendell and learn of her destiny as a hero, so much so that if you select her as your main character, you'll actually set the game's final dungeon to its hardest difficulty setting. Rize has excellent stats in all respects, all her class changes are good, and she has an aptitude for quiet, patient persistence that presses her forward at all times without getting discouraged for long. One of the cool things about her, mechanically, is her light classes grant party buffs, and her dark classes give her debuffs she can cast on enemies, so there's no bad customization for her. And with her strong, unbending will, you will never regret choosing her as a party member.
I wear my mother's ribbon with pride. May it protect me on my journey.
Number 7. Seashore, Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2. Despite being just a normal mortal human being in a world surrounded by goddesses, Seashore is both as powerful as a CPU in her own right, but also the leader of the organization known as the Gold Third, who overpower the CPUs in the game's second chapter, leading to the events of the main story. Unlike her comrades, Sisha is calm and level-headed. Even after toppling the CPUs, the goddesses that rule the world, she remains polite and kind, even assisting Blana on getting back onto her feet purely because it was the right thing to do. She represents Capcom, obviously, being effectively Chun-Li clad in Jill Valentine's wardrobe, armed with a Mega Buster, a great sword from Monster Hunter, and kicks straight from Street Fighter. Her buddy cop friendship with Blonde helped characterize her as one of the coolest characters this female-heavy franchise has ever had. Unfortunately, due to the poor way the Neptunia series handles non-core cast members, this will probably be her last hurrah as well, as all we've seen since was a cameo in 4 Goddesses Online. A shame, as Sisha is not only excellently designed, extremely powerful, and immensely entertaining. It's such a poor fit of an ending for such a perfect choice for our list. Number 6. Mikoto, Rune Factory, Tides of Destiny. Narrowly edging out Lily, Pia, and Xiaopai from fellow Rune Factory titles, I chose Mikoto from Tides of Destiny based mainly on the question of, if I was actually the protag of a Rune Factory game, which of the girls do I think I'd click with best? Mikoto, who initially masquerades meaninglessly as a male despite it being perfectly obvious that she is a she, serves as Fenith Island's guardian, who patrols in classic samurai fashion in the event anything ever get out of hand. Many of her events are very insightful and teach us about this mysterious, nameless island nation which lays far to the east, and it's totally not Japan, you guys. And I found the overall characterization very endearing. Even though Tides of Destiny was not an installment where NPCs got combat statistics or the ability to join you on missions, it's clear her skill with the sword is second to none. After a certain threshold, she'll even acknowledge your combat skills as equal or eventually greater than hers. Her events are fun and insightful, her cause is just and noble, there's just nothing not to like about Mikoto. Number 5. Passion Lip, Fate franchise. This might be my one controversial pick of this list, but I want you guys to hear me out on this. I'm actually not that big a fan of the Fate meta series. Most of my interest in it lies in Grand Order, a game my gacha luck has been far too good in for me to do anything but be invested by now, and Carnival Phantasm, which is just really funny. I drew Lip from a gacha purely by chance, and I found her berserker-like strength, incredible resistance to status ailments and incoming damage, and the alter ego class having superiority over 3 other classes with minimal weaknesses in return, too great a boon to pass up. Passion Lip is everything my Buster Heavy, the cards, team needs to knock it out of the park every battle. She's sweet, if neurotic, but has some genuine moments with the player as she reveals a side of herself that's one part scared, one part possessive, and one part that's just kinda messed up in the head because she was made by BB of all people. Besides, just look at her enormous hands. She fires them off like a super robot. That's way too cool. If I had to narrow it down to just one lady servant of the Fate series, for me, it's the alter ego of love and hate, Passion Lip. Number 4. Mei Ling Zhou, Overwatch. The adorable, plump representative of freeing Hong Kong, Mei is not only ideal material for this list, but also the source of immense consternation for people in the popular hero shooter. Able to put up ludicrously tough ice wall barriers, freeze targets in their tracks, and headshot with an icicle that hits like a hand cannon, Mei is a tough DPS hero to face, especially in one-on-one matchups. I mean, she used to be considered a defense hero back when that classification still existed, and her zone control kit backs that designation up quite nicely. She's also the star of my favorite seasonal event, Yeti Hunt. Mechanics aside, Mei is a sweet and caring soul who had to overcome extremely stark odds when the Overwatch base in Point Antarctica was taken down by the extreme weather conditions, resulting in her being cryo-frozen for almost 10 years. However, Mei is also a survivor and overcame overwhelming odds to find her way back to society and rejoin the good fight alongside the remnants of Overwatch. She's friendly, capable, knows her way through a fight, and the only one smart enough to correct even Winston's calculations. Number 3. Jam Kuradoberi, Guilty Gear series. With a name that was supposed to be read as Cloudberry Jam, a reference to a Swedish pop jazz band, this spunky entrepreneur owns her own restaurant which gets knocked down at least once per installment. She maintains an optimistic, can-do attitude at all times, and never backs down when a challenge approaches. In combat, she fights by manipulating her ki, and what that means in a world as bizarre and magical as the Guilty Gear universe we might never know. She can deliver blindingly fast series of strikes from just about any stance that she has. And while she may not win in the battles of love, having a crush on Kai Kisuke, who canonically married Dizzy, her strong and impulsive attitude will surely see her through. Whether it's in her heart or in the battlefield, Jamko Adachi is an excellent choice. Number 2. Deus, or Blue, Breath of Fire series. I admit a certain amount of bias on this one, being that I am in fact a Snek, but there's more to it than that. Deus is an immensely powerful sorceress and wields the highest tier attack spells in any game she's playable in. And while haughty, her ego stems from a place of realistic confidence, being well aware of just how ancient and powerful she truly is. She's coy, clearly knowing more than she lets on, but never leaves her party at a disadvantage due to not telling them things that they need to know when they need to know them, which adds to her air of mystery. She's cunning, powerful, and more than capable, with just a hint of an ego showing through to help ground her characterization. Deus is a powerful ally to any dragon hero she meets, even if sometimes her presentation can come off as less than flattering. Now, let's hit on some honorable mentions before we get ahead of ourselves. Minamoto no Raiko, Fate Grand Order. Pure ara motherly love and a berserker that comes with buffs, invincible periods, and huge hitting power all in one? That's an excellent choice. But I already had my heart set on a different Fate character, so by my own rules I couldn't include her. Cat and Momo, Breath of Fire 2 and 3. Both excellent choices, they stem from the same franchises as a character I'd already picked for the sake of the countdown. And the two are, interestingly enough, kind of polar opposites. Cat is a nigh-feral, simple-minded woman who just wants what's best for her friends. Momo, meanwhile, is a scholar who will stop at nothing to find the truth. They are both only narrowly nudged out of the running. Aelia, Mega Man X series. This one ended up causing some conflicting feelings. I found Aelia quite useless in Mega Man X5, X6, and X7, but her X8 updated redesign, new voice actress, and much more proactive attitude redeemed some of her earlier flaws, but it wasn't quite enough to break into the top 10. Maybe if Mega Man X5 gets a Western release, this could change. Holly, Monster Rancher franchise. While being the assistant from my beloved Mon's game series of choice, who had the most fleshed out character between multiple game appearances and her stint in the anime, the lovely assistants of Monster Rancher don't get much in the way of personality, so she ended up being ousted by, well, bigger personalities. That said, let's get down to number 1, Shantae series. The half-genie hero herself, of course, has to make this list. The Shantae franchise is one of my favorite game series of all time. In her ability to whip her hair back and forth, Shantae battles pirate kings, wrangles restless spirits, runs to get zombie girls to safety, all while backed by the ever-lovely voice of Christina V. Able to wield magic and tools to assist her in her battles, this clever gal is able to turn the tables in times of trouble, all the while dancing through the danger. She's affable, has many friends, though she's not above making pop culture references and jokes, even in stressful situations. Her larger-than-life personality and her penchant for helping those out in need make Shantae the hero that Sequin Land needs and deserves, and therefore one of the very best choices for girls of gaming out there. And that's my list. Who are some of your favorite female video game characters? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button to let me know as much. And if you want more like this every week, tap the subscribe and bell icons. To get a sneak peek at upcoming content, you can even follow me on my Twitter feed. To fund my efforts to play even more games, you can even become a patron at my Subscribe Star. All links and such are in the description below, as always. And if you need more of me and my closest bros in your lives, well, there's always the Tomodachi Bros podcast, now featured on this very YouTube channel. And as always, this has been the Hipster Snek, signing off. Join me here each week for more obscure games and indie excellence. I will see you there. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. And if you're still watching, I just wanted to let you guys know that I wanted to extend a big thank you to all my viewers for helping us recently break the 250 subs milestone. That is crazy to me. The fact that we did it so quickly is all thanks to you and you guys supporting me, and it means the world to me. So I want to give a little something back in return. Between now and the time we hit the 500 subs mark, both on my YouTube discussion page tab and over at my Twitter at Hipster Snek, there is now an open AMA, or Ask Me Anything, where you guys can ask as many questions as you want. When we hit the 500 subs mark, I will sit down, make the video, and answer every question that doesn't get me banned off YouTube. The posts are already there and pinned, awaiting your input. I'm curious to see what you guys are curious about. So I'll see you at the 500 subs mark and with all the answers that you've been craving. And I will see you there.